26 holes, 26 holes. A floorball has 26 holes, that's why the show is called 26 Holes. Hello, and welcome once again to 26 Holes, the official show of the TFL. This week we've moved into our new studio here at the floorballpro.com mansion. Hope you like the place. Also got the haircut done up this week. My girlfriend did it for me, so hopefully everyone likes it. Send me your comments as usual. So moving on to this week, we'll have the week's action as well as our floorballpro.com highlight of the week. We'll also be adding in an out-of-town scoreboard as well as our intermediate division scoreboard, so look out for that later in the show. As well, we'll have our first floorballpro.com product of the week, let's call it. So, there you have it. Let's move on to this week's action. Alright, in our first game of the week, we had the Solid Soldiers taking on the iMove Blue Collars. New to the lineup for the Blue Collars, they had Jesper Boney in the lineup, making his debut for them, coming over from the Saab Turbos, who he was released from. The iMove Blue Collars also will have Marcus Rucola in the lineup, who's making his return from the injured reserve. So let's check out the highlights.
With the score already 2-1 midway through the second, Eli Kelleher bats not one, but two mid-air passes from Andre Riolo to put the Solid Soldiers up 4-1. Joel Anuye undresses Jesper Boney like he's a supple young girl to make the score 5-1 Soldiers after two. Kenny Ching continues his hot play in the second half, scoring his second of the night. The Thomas Holmstrom of the TFL, Eli Kelleher, bangs in this one to net the hat trick on the night. Soldiers win 8-2.
Well, I guess that's the sort of performance we should expect from the Solid Soldiers when they have their full lineup in attendance. Alright, on to the next game. We had the Striation 6 Striators taking on the Carlos Bulldogs. Striators have been on a bit of a hot streak lately, winning their last 4 games, and the Bulldogs are looking quite rough, coming off a 12-3 loss to the Solid Soldiers and a 15-0 loss to the iMove Blue Collars. Let's see how these two teams fared against each other in the highlights.
From the outset in this one, the Bulldogs were clearly outclassed in a game which forced injured goalie Nick Carpenter into a player role. The Bulldogs were down 6-0 after the first. It was more of the same in the second for the Bulldogs, as Jukka Kortinen set up Dave Carpenter for this easy tap-in goal. And things got even worse as Gabe Getzgaden took this one in the Little Soldiers. The Striation 6 Striators would close the second period with 8 goals by 7 different players and leave the score at that point 14-0. Like more of the same in the third as Peter Tublaris scored this single-handed goal just 16 seconds into the period. After being shut out for 106 minutes and 2 seconds, James Dunn scores this one to break the goose egg. After that huge drought, the Bulldogs score their second in a minute on this Keith Osler spinorama. With the score now 17-2, Gabe Getzgaden scores this one to show a little Bulldog pride.
Alright, as always here on 26 Holes, we'll move on to our floorballpro.com highlight of the week after our first 2 games. So here are your candidates.